Welcome to Bookclub no Kiseki. I'm Sam Allman.
I'm David Bernard Halk.
And I'm Matt Jorgensen.
In the segment of Falcom's Kiseki series that we'll be playing through today is Chapter 1 of Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the Third. But before we dive right in, what's the gist, Alchemist?
I want to play Elden Ring.
Yeah, it looks good. I don't think I will probably ever play it unless I play it to spite people, like we were talking off mic. But none of the pieces are pieces of things that I am hype about. But seeing how hype everyone else is about it, I might like pick it up on sale or GameFly it or something and give it a shot. Which is more than I can say for any other From game.
Yeah. From games are not for everyone. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Matt?
It has been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the good stuff, though. I picked up and am really enjoying Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
I picked that up yesterday and I've been playing it a little this morning and it's very good.
Yeah.
It is a bunch of fun. A lot of my precious monster children are in the game, which makes me happy. I'm real bad about trying to do dumb stuff, which is great.
Just don't do dumb stuff.
The fact that you can accidentally do dumb stuff in that game is maybe my favorite aspect. Because it was my favorite aspect of Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can I create a flying machine that was something I spent a lot of time in Breath of the Wild on. It's like, can I fly though?
Mm-hmm.
If I stack these objects in a certain way, far enough away that I can pick up the bottom one and just kind of hover, I could not. But I liked that. That was neat.
Have you seen the video where someone crosses a river early by making a bridge out of bibberels?
Yes, it is. That's great. There's also I think they may have updated the ability to do it out of the game. Because alpha Pokemon are a big deal. But there's a great video I saw on Twitter of somebody trying to catch just like a regular Ponyta. And there is an alpha Rapidash. You'll see it. It will scare you. That just kind of like wandered in the way of the Pokeball. And they caught that instead. Which is super great. But yeah, big recommend on that game. Oh, I caught a shiny Bidoof too.
Nice. I never encounter shinies. Never do I encounter shinies. Everyone's like, oh, I got my first shiny in this game, and my first shiny in that game was this. And I'm like, I have never encountered a shiny.
Weird. Not even in X and Y where they were everywhere?
Oh, no. I didn't even know they were everywhere in X and Y because I never found them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been confirmed that tipping increases your shiny luck, but that's at least the up and B playground logic is the more you tip, the more you get it. But I found them all the time in X and Y, and I had never found them ever before.
My first shiny Pokemon was Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon while I was breeding Garchomps.
Nice.
Or, yeah, Gibbles. Until then, I don't think this is the first one I've actually, like, caught in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Bidoof. I'm very happy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, my only playing through like the second mission review of Legends Arceus is that this game is really, really ugly, and it's somehow very quickly makes you not give a shit. It's like real hard on the eyes, and nothing about it looks real good at all. But the game feel of just walking around and throwing shit at Pokemon is superb, and you just don't care what it looks like very quickly once you get into the game.
Yeah, I agree. It's lucky it's as good as it is because it doesn't look good. But yeah, I definitely enjoy it and want to keep playing it, and I don't care that it looks bad.
Yeah, people
it doesn't
say
literally hurt my eyes, so
yeah, people overuse the "it looks like a PS2 game" thing, and this does not look like a PS2 game, but it does kind of look like an original Xbox game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe like a launch PS3 game.
Yeah.
But like the demo for Dragon Quest XI S on Switch, that literally hurt my eyes because the resolution was weird, and looking at it all fuzzy like literally hurt my eyes. So as long as Legends Arceus isn't that bad, I definitely want to keep playing it.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to talk about, just because I'm going to shamelessly plug it, Metal Max Xeno Reborn showed up for pre-orders today.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which I'm super excited about. It's weird. It's literally a remake of the PS4 game that just came out a couple of years ago. I don't know why. But I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna be happy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's very weird because it's not coming to PS5. That you would think, it being a relatively late PS4 game and it getting a remake, it would cross the generational boundaries. But no, they HD remade a game for the same console.
They sure did. And then they put it on the Switch, because why not?
The box art is cool.
The game is surprisingly good. Like, I was going in expecting it to be, like, Matt good. And, Matt, you know I love you enough to understand exactly what I mean by it being Matt good. But I had a lot of fun with it. It's very, like, chill, in the same way that, like, Arceus is chill, where you're not running around and, like, super absorbed into the story, but like just doing the thing while you go around and do the thing is very satisfying. Metal Max Xeno is the same way. I really enjoyed it. I will probably pick up the Reborn just because it's silly to remake a game for the same console.
I would watch some reviews. They went a weird place with it. There's no way to explain it without just showing a video. But yeah, I will be definitely picking that up and playing it, and whatever week follows that coming out, it's probably going to be 20 minutes of me talking about it.
Nice. But yeah. The only other thing that I feel like talking about, because I will 3 times in 4 days, I will answer what's been going on with my week when we record these podcasts this week. But today, another Amazon shipment of goodies that we bought with taxes came in, and I have a Retrobit 64 Brawler controller so that I can play in 64 games with all of the correct buttons on my Batacera. And it's dope. It feels very weird, but like also exactly correct. And my fingers that have been doing Super Mario 64 long jumps the same way for 20 years instantly knew exactly where every button was, and it felt real good. So, big recommend if you like to emulate N64 games to get that controller.
This is one of the ones that has just 2 handles.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your third arm then?
Oh, that one I just scratch places that are itchy. It frees it up. It also is good for the Cheeto hand. So
I see.
I'm gaming. The other one can just load me up in Cheetos.
I've cleaned a lot of controllers, and it feels like if you're not Cheeto handing with your driver hand, you're doing it wrong. Ugh. Well, I grossed myself out. Never mind.
Also, real quick, I totally forgot to bring it up on any of the other podcasts this week, but my friend got me the new Digimon Vital bracelet, Digivice, and it's cool. I keep killing my Digimon because I don't exercise enough, and nothing adds to the guilt of not exercising enough than all of your little monster friends dying every 2 days. So,
Okay.
Cool.
Big recommend. Super cool. It's probably the coolest Digivice in my collection now, but all my friends are dead.
So back in the day, did you actually I don't know if you had one of the Digivices. I had one of them. And did you actually walk around to exercise your Digimon? Because I just I would sit on the bus and shake it.
So, fun fact, the earliest ones, back in 1998, those were supposed to be pedometers, and you were supposed to wear them as a pedometer. But kids cheated, so it's been rebalanced since the D3, the ones for Season 2. Since those, you're supposed to shake it. I, however, did, when I started collecting them, clip them to my belt while I was at work to get my steps in and play Digimon because I'm a big ass nerd. But yeah, speaking of being a big ass nerd, let's talk about Tita and her parents. So let's listen to some of the music from Chapter 1, and then we'll talk about the plot.
The music that you hear in Chapter 1 for most of your time in Chapter 1 when you're just going around the dungeon is so good.
So yeah, when we last left our heroes, we touched a big match key thing, and it took us into a JRPG Technicolor dreamscape in a big floating library in the sky. And Kevin said, "Well, so much for it being an easy assignment." So when we get control this time, they're looking around at all of the books, and they're books from all over and super rare and hard to find and stuff like that. And Kevin is a nerd and is like, "Wow, that's super legit." And I forget her freaking name. Who's our buddy's name?
Reese.
There it is. My brain kept wanting to say Ren, but that is definitely a different character. So Reese is just like, "Yeah, but have you noticed that we're floating in the sky? Maybe we should see what else is around here instead of just looking at books." And Kevin is like, "Okay, sure." So we make our way down the little pathway, and we come to a series of statues, and they are gameplay abstractions. to put it nicely. They one of them is a shop, one of them is an inn, one of them is a place where you can buy ingredients, and one of them refills your CP, but very rarely. I'm not sure what the reset point is. I went back like 30 times this chapter and it was never reloaded. But
it could be once per chapter.
Maybe so.
No, it refills if you just fucking be patient and give it some time, because I went back like twice and it was ready each time. So the key is to just not get greedy and be weird about it.
Maybe so. Maybe the touchpad on the back of the Vita has a heartbeat monitor, and so it can tell if I just want the extra CP or if I'm being nice and chill and don't actually care.
Perhaps.
But, after you go talk to all of the things, you come back to the one in the front, and it opens up a gate in front of you. So that monsters, there are demons and like actual fucking from hell demons, and Kevin is like confused and
they make
surprised.
a really big deal out of did you notice in the UI you now had time and mirage and space weaknesses on these bad guys? It was very weird them talking about the gaming abstractions of the elemental weaknesses, like basically showing up in the UI. They were talking about the fact that they were there. It was funny to me.
Yeah, and that does remind me. Last time I mentioned that the types of spells and stuff that you can do are different this time, and so I looked it up. They are different. I still have not figured out what they are, but it's like type C, type B, etc. for all your different spells and crafts, and I don't know what they mean. But
Either I missed that or that is unique to the evolution version.
Maybe. But if it was unique to the evolution version, you would think it would have been different for 1 and 2, because these all came out at the same time.
It's possible I just missed it.
Yeah, it's just in like the flavor text after you like when you're going to select it, it'll be like a bolt of lightning comes down from heaven, area M type C or whatever.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. So after we make our way downtown and go through all the maze for a bit, we find a big glowing yellow thing, and we don't quite know what it is. But when we grab it, our cube starts to react to it, and then that lets us fast travel, which is cool. And then we get talked to by a voice that Reese is like, oh, is it coming from the cube? But Kevin mentions that it's seems to be outside of the cube, the way that it's talking about the cube separately. So it's probably some big person later. So we fast travel back to town, even though there aren't NPCs, there are just big slabs of rock. And when we get there, the main slab of rock lets us open up the yellow thing that we found, and inside of it is Tita, the whole party member from the last couple of games. She was inside the cube, and now she's in this dungeon, and we really don't even know why yet. She's just here. So,
where else would you keep your small child equipped with a large firearm? I see no weirdness with this.
yeah, it's
I laughed so hard because now he's a Pokemon. Now she's a Pokemon.
It's true.
Since your flow has been broken, I didn't want to interrupt and correct you, but there's only one slab of rock. The other utilities are a tree and a pool.
One's a lake. Yeah. I was vaguely remembering like a small like a plaque in front of both of those, but as I was scrolling through the Let's Play, I was 100% wrong. The ingredient merchant is a tree. The CP thing is a pool of water.
It's funny because at the slab of rock, you can like buy stuff, you can heal, you can do quartz, sepith stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can do all this stuff, but if you want ingredients, you go to a tree.
Yeah.
And the tree's only thing it does is ingredients. And I'm I don't even engage with that mechanic.
Yeah, the only time I engage with that mechanic is when I'm stuck in a really hard boss fight, and I'm like, shit, I'm out of healing items. Let's see what any of this food does. Oh, hey, one of them can revive. Let's use this revive food that I happen to have.
I'm almost wondering if this is in some way inspired by the Etrian Odyssey games, because this is very much...
I think they predate the Etrian Odyssey games by like 4 or 5 years.
I believe so. Etrian Odyssey
this game
first
came out
in 2007.
Okay, so they're approximately close, but the way that cooking is handled in this game is very Tales of. So if anything, it's referencing Tales of.
I was talking less of the cooking itself and more just having the static objects be the merchants. But anyway.
Anywho, so Tita shows up and we espouse to her what the hell's going on, and she's like, that's weird. I have no idea who I am, or not who I am, why I'm here. And then she introduces herself to Reese, and long story short, Tita's like, well, there's nothing else to do besides go with you and help out, because what else is there to do besides talk to trees? So she joins our party, and we head off back down through the thing some more.
I love how when she finds out that Reese met her mother, she's basically like, oh no, I hope she wasn't extremely weird and homosexual at you.
But she was.
She was. I mean, she might be bisexual or homosexual. I don't know. She's very much not straight. And she is very much a lot.
So we make our way back through where we were. We don't get we don't get to fast travel back yet. So we have to go and redo the dungeon to get there. But this time, the door that was right behind where we got the yellow glowy thing is now gone. So we can continue our way through. As we make our way through there, we eventually come across a moon door. The moon door says, bring to me the girl skilled in orbital engineering, which is a stupid sentence. But luckily
not
we
much
have
of a riddle.
No, not at all. Like, it's not even like, oh, bring me the skilled engineer or something like vague about it. No, it's bring to me the little girl who is skilled in orbital engineering. Like, it leaves nothing to the imagination. It is.
I like to think it wasn't supposed to be a riddle. They just couldn't remember her name, so they're like, that one. You know the one.
Yeah, just bring that girl.
Just bring me that. You can't expect me to remember the names of all these characters.
Like, God, how many named characters are in these games? It's too many.
There's 25 whole people on this continent. I don't know them all.
Yeah.
It might not sound like a lot for a continent, but it's a lot for my brain.
The best part is how super obvious it is, and then Reese turns around and is like, I can think of only one person who might fit the door's description, and he's just like, you think it means me? Yeah, you're a little girl, and you're skilled in orbital engineering, so it is you. There's only 3 of us here, and only one of us is a little girl. It could honestly have stopped at that part of the sentence, but So Tita decides to go in, and the door says, if she fears not the trial within, she should step through the door. And Tita's like, wait, what do you mean trial? And Kevin and Reese are just like, nah, just go ahead. Go on in, you'll be fine.
They're a bit less cavalier than that, but yeah, the gang decides the kid should go and face this unknown trial. And just see what happens. Feel it out.
Yeah. So what does happen on the other side is a lot. So the first thing that happens is Tita has to win a fight, and I don't know if the fight is losable because by the time that I killed them, they had only healed me or hurt themselves. Like they have the main move that they did healed me, and then their main attack move also hurt their buddies. So it was real easy to get them clumped up and then just S-break on them until they died. Did you guys have any issues whatsoever?
No, I just kept using the craft. I couldn't remember if it was arts or crafts. I kept using the craft that does an area damage and blinds them. And so they couldn't hit me at all because they were blind. And I was doing damage to all of them at once. So it was not hard.
Mm-mm. After we defeat them, the voice of the door says that it will grant Tita a memory fragment. But Tita has not lost her memory. She actually said that she was just hanging out with her dad like moments before when we got here. So yet again, the game has granted us with a gaming abstraction. And so we get to flashback and see what Tita's been up to post the main plot of the games.
The impression I got was that, like, maybe she had lost her memories of things leading up to her being transported to this hell dimension.
Maybe so.
I don't know if that's the case or if this is just truly a gaming abstraction.
Who can say? So when the flashback starts, we see some just from like an aerial vantage point, someone has Tita in their gun sights, and we're like, oh shit, Tita's about to get got. But no, it's her parents on flying motorcycles. It's kind of cute the way that they like surprise everybody, because flying motorcycles have not been a thing. And so they show up, and Erica is too much again. And as they're hanging out and talking about everything, they mention for the first of many times how much they are pissed off that Agate kept putting Tita in the line of fire over the past 2 games, and they're not wrong. And so while they're talking, Professor Russell shows up, and they talk about how really cool it is that they have flying motorcycles now, and they're super freaking fast, like faster than anyone could think of. And the reason they're so fast is because you fire them out of a gun from an airship. So what's his face from Xenogears would be very excited. But it quickly you find out quickly that Erica and Professor Russell do not get along. And while it was happening, I was wondering, is Professor Russell her dad and that's why they're so alike, or is that her father-in-law and that's why they hate each other?
I'm pretty sure it's her dad. I'm pretty sure that was said in the prologue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but like both of their last names are Russell, so I didn't know. But I also don't know the like.
Does Erica seem like the type to change her last name when getting married? Nah, she's not doing that. Erica is his daughter.
Okay.
I just confirmed with the internet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a pretty common anime trope.
Yeah. But I wasn't certain because of the whole last name stuff.
Actually, Dan took her last name, apparently, because Dan's last name is listed as Russell.
Nice.
Interesting. Oh, man, I just accidentally learned something interesting about Dan. That was probably going to be revealed in an interesting way.
Or through another door with an hour-long cutscene.
Man, this cutscene just kept going, and I was really surprised. Yeah. I had it settled in for a visual novel. I had settled in for an RPG that's different.
Yeah, so I was partway through this cutscene, and then I had stopped for the night. And then the next day, Storm wanted to play a game on my Vita. He brought it and just wanted to jump around in Ratchet and Clank or something. So I was like, okay, I'll skip through the cutscene because I write my notes off the Let's Play anyways. So I'll just kind of be paying attention. I'll hold down the skip button and go from there. Even holding down the skip button, it was like way too long, so I ended up just saying, you know what, fuck it, I'll just start over from the beginning then, I guess, and turned it off because it was like 5+ minutes of holding down the skip button and it still wasn't over. It's real damn long. So after Erica and Russell are yelling at each other, Dan convinces them to go back to yell at each other at the house, so they do so. And let's see. There's a lot that happens, but most of it would be skipped, like as memorable moments type stuff. But also in this game, this completely unimportant thing could probably be super important later.
I think the next important thing that happens is just later the grown-ups are all working on something and Tito really wants to see what it is, but they're like, no, go to bed, you dang kid. That takes a while to get to that point. But eventually Erica and Russell are down in the back room. If you remember from Professor Russell's house, he has like a lab upstairs, but also a more different lab out towards the back. So they're in the back, and Erica is showing blueprints to Professor Russell, and he's like, why do you think you should make something like this? This is a big bad no-no. And Tita's like, what is it? And they're like, grown-up stuff, go to bed. And she goes, I don't wanna. And their parents are like, too bad, go out of the room. And so Dan takes her out of the room, but doesn't take her all the way out of the room for some reason. So she stays, tries to sneak up and see what's going on. And the
basically what they're working on is the Orbital gear, which is Metal Gear but Orbital.
Orbital gear.
And Tito really wants to be a part of it, but her parents are like, no, you're a kid. And she's like, I'm also a JRPG protagonist. And they're like, yeah, but you're still just a kid. You shouldn't be making nuclear weapons. But
you're 13 years old. You've got to be like 14 or 15 in JRPG years for this kind of thing.
Yeah. So later that night, the grown-ups are all talking about how Ouroboros has way better technology than they do. So this Orbital gear is basically them trying to level the playing field, because if they can make a airship as huge as the Glorious, and they can make these gospel orbits that fuck up space and time, they need something a little more oomphy. And so they're going to make a mech based off of Patermater, but their own version. So the next morning, Tita goes up to the factory where her mom and grandpa are working, and they're getting along, which Murdoch thinks is a bad sign. And he's constantly talking about how this won't possibly end well. If you need me, I'm going to be praying at the church, things like that, which I think is great. So when Tita goes up there, she learns about the Orbital gear and how it's based on Patermater, which was Ren's big robot. And she's like, I want to help build it so that I can have my own robot, so that maybe I'll understand where Ren's coming from with this whole robot thing she has going on, so that maybe we can be friends. And her parents are like, you don't really become friends with nuclear weapon robots. That's not really what's going on. And you're a tiny child, so you should not be about all of this. But Tita says, too bad. And let's see. I think that's basically the gist of it. She says, too bad, I want to do it. And she finally gets through to her parents, and her parents realize that she's grown up and has gone and saved the world and stuff. So
it's a lot of drawn out scenes and a lot of very Hideo Kojima conversations about creating weapons and weapons being used in war and all that stuff. But yeah, that's basically more or less most of it. Oh, and it's revealed that Agate is coming to visit, and
yes,
Erica is very excited about this because she'll get to murder him.
Yeah, she's like, oh great, we can do a weapons test on Agate. And that's not nice. But I think that's the end of the whole thing. Yeah. So after the reveal that Agate is there and that her mom's going to kill him, we get control back, and she Tita leaves the moon door. Let's see. So when she comes out, we learn more gaming extraptions thing that we have to meet the condition to get the doors to open, fight our way through a battle, and then we get to see a memory fragment and walk away with some gold as a bonus. And these are actual words that come out of Kevin's mouth, which is stupid. But after doing the door, we get a fast travel location at it, which is cool. So we continue making our way through the dungeony mage place, and it's real big. But down in the bottom, we see the Arcee, our cool ass gunship, and there's nobody on it, and it's also in a weird JRPG abstract dungeon place. So we're like, that's odd. We should go check it out. So we do so. And Jesus, I forgot. It takes forever to actually get there. You like see it, and then you have like half of the dungeoneering of this episode is actually getting to it.
Mm-hmm. One thing that we learned in the flashback that is about to become a little relevant is that Erica also has a big lesbian crush on Julia.
I mean, who doesn't?
Seriously.
Right?
We make our way around on the Arceel, and we look at all the stuff. The door that's locked that didn't let us through is unlocked, but Tita walks in, says that there's nothing to see here, and walks back out, so we still don't actually get to go through the locked door, and it makes me mad. But as we eventually make our way all the way to the bridge, and there's another yellow glowy thing, so we teleport back to the front to open it up, and there is Julia Schwartz, and we espouse to her what's going on, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I'm joining the party too, and it's great. We got a little taste of her in our party for like half a second last game, but now she's going to be a main party member, and I'm excited because I love her. Let's see. I think
Does anything else really happen except the big boss fight?
I don't think anything else happens. That's what I'm looking at.
But that boss fight is a lot.
It sure is.
Yeah. This page is taking forever to load on the LP archive. But, yeah, it's a big old boss, and we gotta fight it. It's apparently one of the 77 devils that appears in the Bible, and
it's kind of a big deal that we're fighting it. Kevin is like, I didn't think I'd be fighting an actual devil.
Yeah, and the boss has like 4 phases, and the first phase has like 99999 health, and you're like, oh man, this is going to be hard, but it's actually pretty weak, and so you tear through its health really quickly, and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then there's another phase of fairly equal health, and then the last phase has like 4 times that much health and a more defense, and it's real fucking hard. And I
and you don't know how many phases there are. I didn't realize there was going to be more than one phase.
Yeah.
It was every hard. Time the new phase started, I was like, fucking come on, man. That's too much, man.
It really is. But eventually you do take it down, and then after we defeat it, Homeboy shows up, the white-haired man that's not Lei, and
totally not.
Yeah, totally not. Might still be, but it's definitely not, at least in name so far. So he knows Kevin by name, because Kevin's like, who the fuck are you? And he goes, calm yourself, Kevin Graham. And he goes, it's far too early for you to be losing yourself in despair. and he
So this game is not only Metal Gear Solid, it's also Danganronpa.
yes. So Reese goes up to hit him with her sword, and they do a little back and forth sprite battle, and it's pretty cool. But
in my version, he just knocks her the fuck away. There's no back and forth. He's just like bam, and she flies back. I don't know if it's different in your version.
That sounds right to my version.
Yeah, looking at here on the Let's Play, he knocks her straight back. I vaguely feel like they had a little tete-a-tete beforehand, but it was like a week ago now, so I could just be thinking of a different time where she fought.
You could just be thinking of one of the many, many, many times there was a cool sprite-based sword fight.
It's true. There's a lot to go around, but he does. With or without the back and forth, he does eventually knock Reese aside, and he's like, "I'm not here to fight you yet. I'm going to teleport out of here. But before I do, my name is Schwartzritter, which is a lot." And he says that he is a guardian of Phantasma and a loyal servant of its great lord. And with that, he bids us farewell. And he disappears. We're like, what the fuck was that? And we get the title card that ends the chapter.
Fun.
None of us know what the fuck that was.
But it's only chapter 1.
Yeah. I'm sure we will see more stuff next week. So let's listen to some more music and then talk about our memorable moments. What you got, guys?
I love how it turns out Erica and Dan entered the country illegally just because they wanted to enter in a really cool way. And now they're making Murdoch do all the paperwork so that they don't go to jail. I really like that. I think it really shows the kind of people they are.
Yeah.
Or at least I feel like that's the kind of person Erica is, and Dan just goes along with it.
Yeah, I feel Dan is unable to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride, and he's just going with the flow.
Yeah, he's just trying to survive this.
What about you, Matt, or Bernard, if you have more?
I can't remember any right now. Oh wait, I do have one. Let me bring it up on my phone. Okay, so one of the chests gives the when you check it again, it gives you the message, "Did you know it's true that Zin's name was once written as Zane, but another name change considered was Olivier's. The original suggestion was Oliver. This chest is glad the request never went through."
Mm-hmm.
So I like that they've just so run out of things to put for these chests that they're now just putting localization fun facts.
Yeah. That one was one of mine as well. I really liked it.
Sorry, I took it from you.
It's okay. I've been doing plenty of talking. What about you, Matt? Do you have any?
Yes. Cool. I mean, obviously, Tita is the Pokeball. I choose you, Titamon. That was great. But also the give me 1 second to think of how I want to say this. The anger Tita's mother has against Agate um, over him putting her daughter in harm's way. I think that's really funny because it's some clever writing. Because Tita is her mother's daughter, of course she was going to be in harm's way. But well, no, that's silly. Why would anybody ever do that? The lack of acknowledgement that like, oh yeah, that's why, because that's my kid. All right. All right, yeah, I get it. I think that was some nice writing.
Yeah. Similarly, or relatedly, I should say, her talking head sprite when she is talking about agate, her like behind her eyes, that part of her skin goes completely black, and her eyes like are just huge anime shines, like she's just glaring, and it's a great sprite. I love it.
Yeah, even her regular sprites are a little more cartoony than everyone else's, and it's very funny. Like her sort of annoyed expression is much more. It's much more cartoony than most people's expressions in the game, and I really like it.
Yeah, she's spectacular.
She's spectacular, and I'm glad she's not real.
Yes.
Yeah, but like we've all absolutely met a person like that who's like, you look at them sometimes fondly, sometimes not, and you're just like, you're a living cartoon.
Another Erica moment I loved is when we find out that she has a big old lesbian crush on Julia Schwartz. Tita offhandedly mentions that, oh yeah, Julia was in our party when we went and did the thing. Erica says, you're telling me you had a chance like that and you didn't get me a photograph or her handkerchief or even a button off of her uniform? Which is great because this game, most of the time, the text boxes will all be about the same size, and then for a comedic effect, they will make some of the words bigger. This one, the text box fills the whole screen, and it starts normal size, and like each line gets a little bigger, then a little bigger, then a little bigger, then a little bigger, and it's a great bit. And they did a good job with the UI to sell the joke, and I loved it. My last one is when you go to talk to the food tree for the first time, which, looking at the screenshot, there is a stone dais in front of the food tree, so I was not completely wrong. But
but a dais is not a slab.
That's true. But
made of a slab, though.
But Reese says, even the testaments of the goddess say that all roads lead to food. Food is the fundamental basis of everything. And I love her. But those are all the ones that I screenshot. Anyone have anything else before we wrap it up?
No.
Nope. Cool. Me neither. So it's a fairly incredibly short week this week. It looks like we will have just some fairly short weeks for the first couple of chapters. So chapter 2 looks about this long. Chapter 3 is shorter, but then chapter 4, 5, and 6 and 8 are super duper long. So
I mean, this episode was short, but only because the action of the chapter was not very dense. A lot of it was just building up the characters of Erica and Dan and Tita and Professor Russell.
Yeah. Which is par for this series' course. But,
yes. Well, in most chapters, there would be that and a bunch of action. True. But this game seems to be a little different.
Yeah. Which, I gotta say, is real cool. Like, the fact that this game series does not follow the Stan Lee rule of every comic book is someone's first comic book. I hope to God that this is no one's first RPG, because it does not work without having beaten two entire other games and like built off of all their stuff. It is very much a weird, odd sequel, and I really love it for what it is.
Yes, I really hope no one was like, oh, the third game is on sale. I'm sure it's like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, and you can just play whatever, and they're unrelated.
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, you start the game at level 90. Which that's actually something I really like. It helps sell how fucked up and scary these monsters are, that they're kicking your ass and you're level 90.
Yeah. I realized a little this week that the first game is a JRPG minus the big climax. I mean, it has a climax, but of the total story, it doesn't have the resolution that we get in the second game. But the second game spends half of it being, what if we made a whole game out of the victory lap that comes at the end of a Dragon Quest game? And so the first 5 chapters of the second one is just the victory lap. This game is a, what if we made a whole game out of the where are they now credit sequence? And that's kind of really cool, and I really like it. It makes this trilogy super weird, and I feel like none of the other trilogies will be this weird. It'll just be 4 related games, but we'll see as we make our way through.
By trilogies, you mean a duology and a quadrilogy.
Yeah, but if you take the fourth game that has Lloyd in it and you give that back to Crossbell, they're two trilogies.
If you average them out.
Yeah. But if you like what you heard today, you could come and check us out on the web at www.rpgbook.club, where if you're listening to this in the main podcast feed, you will realize that there are a bunch of episodes waiting on you. I think actually, because we had a bit of a hiatus, there aren't that many episodes, if any, but there normally are about a month's worth of episodes hanging out, because the Ko-Fi gets the episodes a month before everyone else. So if you like what you heard today and you want some more, there will probably be some waiting on you over on the Ko-Fi. Any and all donations that you give to the Ko-Fi go towards unlocking our bonus seasons. We currently have a bonus season for Final Fantasy 13-2. We have already unlocked Lightning Returns, and we are working on Metal Gear Solid. So if you want us to make a lot of Orbital Gear references that Maddie doesn't get because she's not on this podcast, you can go and donate over there. But yeah, I think that'll do it for the day. For Book Club no Kiseki, I've been Sam Allman.
I've been David Bernard Hauk.
I've been Matt Jorgensen.
Adios, amigos.
Was that episode?
We got to the plot at 8:52.
Wow.
So it was real short.
We talked about other stuff beforehand, though.
Yeah.
People come for the parasocial relationship, right?
Yeah, we started. Everyone that's left reviews say that they do come for the parasocial relationship, which is pretty cool.
There you go.